This is Gemma Rain Fountain, health coach and exercise physiologist, and I want to welcome you to The Mints, where we talk about all things motivation, movement, inspiration, nutrition, community, and empowerment as it pertains to your health. Hello, I am Gemma Rain Fountain, exercise physiologist, integrative nutrition health coach, author, and speaker. And this is part 3 of the Beyond the Book series, where I'm talking about the stories behind the writing of my book, The Elephant in the Room: How to Overcome Your Psychological Barriers to Weight Loss Success. And today the title is How the Divine and Sarah Intervened. A few years ago, I wrote my book, The Elephant in the Room: How to Overcome the Psychological Barriers to Weight Loss Success. It's about the mental blocks to weight loss. And while the book is available in print on Amazon, I would like to gift my book to you for free in PDF form. So if you would like to read that and get it for free on PDF, go below and click the link and you'll fill out the form and I will send that to you. So instead of telling you about what is in the book, I am sharing the story behind the book and the trials, the tribulations, the joy, the tears, and the magic that helped get the book to publish. This is part 3 of the story behind The Elephant in the Room: How the Divine and Sarah Intervened. So if you haven't read part 2 yet, find that link below and click on that. But today we're picking up where we left off in part 2 at my 20-year high school reunion. It was June 2015. At the Saturday night formal dinner, Eric, my husband, and I sat down at a large round table next to my friend Sarah, who I hadn't seen in person in 10 years. We were, however, connected on Facebook. And after some small talk, Sarah asked me how the book publishing was going. She mentioned that she'd been following my progress, or complete lack of progress, through my Facebook posts. She asked me how it was going, and I probably said something like, "Ugh," with great drama. And I told her how frustrated I was with the online publishing format, CreateSpace, and that I couldn't even get the dang page numbers onto the right freaking pages. I probably went off on some tirade, but then she asked me, I remember this vividly. She asked me, "Gemma, do you know who I work for?" I was like, "No, I actually don't." And she said, "I work for CreateSpace." CreateSpace, the self-publishing platform with Amazon that I was so frustrated with. She worked for them. So I probably told her to shut up and like hit her in the arm, because that's kind of what I do when I'm shocked. And I remember asking her after that, I said if I could bother her for 20 minutes of her time, maybe the next week, to ask her for some guidance in the publishing process. Because I was thinking maybe she can help me get the number 1 on actual page 1. So the following week, I reached out to Sarah on Facebook and we hopped on the phone to chat. She asked me some questions about what I was attempting to do in CreateSpace. I told her what I was having trouble with, and she asked if I could send her my manuscript. So I emailed it to her, and she told me she'd get back to me in a few days. Well, a few days came and went, and I hadn't heard back from her. So a week later, I sent her a quick Facebook message, and we hopped on another call. I asked Sarah if she'd had any time to help me figure out the whole page number thing. And she said, "Gemma, your book is ready to publish." And I was so confused. And I remember, like, "What do you mean it's ready to publish?" And she told me that she had processed my book through the premium publishing option that was available through CreateSpace, and that it was completely ready to publish. Now, this time, I almost pooped my pants, literally, because the premium option was expensive and I was flat broke at that time. So my heart rate went up because I'm thinking, I have to pay her now and I can't afford it. So I started to panic. And I didn't want to insult her. I didn't want to insult my friend who was helping me, but I also couldn't pay the cost for the premium option. So I told her, I said, "Sarah, I can't afford that." And I'm certain she heard the panic in my voice. But then Sarah baffled me when she told me that there was no charge and that she had done it as a favor. I remember being silent a few moments as the wave of what had happened washed over me. This book that I had written wasn't mine anymore. It was something bigger than me, had stepped in to make sure that my own barriers to releasing it out into the world were removed. The book was ready to go. It was ready for people to read. After thanking her profusely, crying, and then thanking her profusely some more, Sarah and I got off the phone, and I remember sitting in complete disbelief. And all my fears started to creep up. The book isn't good enough yet. It's not ready to be published. I need to edit it better. I need more chapters. It's not, the message isn't good enough. I need to add more personal, like all these things started coming up. My fears came up so much, but a louder voice inside me reminded me that the book was no longer mine to obsess over. The book now belonged to that one person who needed to read it now. So I trusted the divine. I gave up ownership of the words I had written. I logged on to my Create space and I hit publish. And I hope you'll join me for part 4 of the Beyond the Book series, where I tell you about the teacher I dedicated the book to and how she changed my life in 9th grade.